This is you. There's a girl you want. Maybe she knows you exist. Maybe she barely does. And you've tried things. You've tried being nice, being funny, being available. Nothing landed. I used to be exactly there. And then I stumbled onto something that changed everything. I used to do what most guys do. I tried to flood her field of vision. Funny comments. Random texts. Showing up wherever she was. I thought being visible was the same as being magnetic. It's not. Being loud isn't the signal. It's the noise that blocks it. She saw me. She just didn't feel anything when she did. That's the brutal part. It wasn't hate. It wasn't rejection. It was nothing. I was furniture. And no amount of trying harder was going to fix that. I had to change the signal I was sending. I learned something that took me way too long to figure out. Women don't respond to effort. They respond to presence. The signal isn't a line. It's not a text. It's not a move. It's a frequency, and either you're broadcasting it or you're not. I wasn't. Until I learned how to turn it on. The first part of the signal is presence. Not the kind where you're hovering. The kind where you're so settled in yourself that she has to enter your world, not the other way around. I stopped going to her energy. I let mine fill the room. And she noticed. The second part of the signal? Make her feel seen, without making her feel hunted. I stopped throwing compliments at her looks. I started noticing the real stuff. Her energy, her mood, what she wasn't saying. And one day, I just said it quietly. You seem like you're carrying something today. You good? She stopped, looked at me differently. The third part of the signal is direction. A man who knows where he's going is impossible to ignore. I stopped asking, what do you want to do? I started deciding. Not controlling, just leading. And something primal in her responded to that. She stopped drifting. She followed. Here's what happens when you run all three signals. She starts thinking about you when you're not around. Not because you said something perfect, but because being near you felt like something. And now that feeling is gone, and she wants it back. That's the signal working. Most men spend their whole lives trying to say the right thing. The secret is that she's not listening to your words. She's reading your signal. Presence. Making her feel seen without chasing her. Direction. Run all three, consistently, and you become someone she physically cannot ignore. Not because you're perfect, because you're real. The signal works. She's in. She's curious. She asks you something real. And that's when most men blow it. Right at the finish line. Last time, the signal. Presence. Making her feel seen. Direction. It worked. She stepped in. She's warm. She's curious. She's right there. And this is the moment. The one I'm going to be straight with you about. Because this is also exactly where I used to destroy everything I'd built. I used to answer it literally. I'm pretty chill. I love music I work in. Facts. A list. An audition. And every word was another brick in the wall between us. Because I wasn't being real. I was performing. And she felt that the second it started. And just like that, the energy was gone. Not because she didn't like me. Because I answered like a man who needed her to approve of what he said. The signal I'd built over weeks collapsed in 30 seconds. One question. One wrong answer. Done. Then I realized she wasn't asking for facts. She was scanning deeper. She'd felt something. That presence, that calm, that direction. And she wanted to know, is that real? Or is it a front that collapses the second I poke it? The question was never about what you do. It was about who you are when no one's watching. So when she asked me again, different moment, same question, I didn't list anything. I said, depends on who's asking. With the right people, pretty intense. With the wrong ones, completely unavailable. She went quiet for just a second. Then she leaned forward. That 1 second of silence told me everything. She pushed. Okay, but which one am I? Right here is where most men cave. They give her the compliment she's fishing for. I didn't. I smiled and said, that's what I'm figuring out. 3 words. Then I let the silence sit. And in that silence, she started trying to prove herself to me. Then the second trap question lands. What are you actually looking for? Most men do one of 2 things. They go full romantic to impress her, or full casual to seem unbothered. Both are performances. Both signal the same thing. You care what she thinks of your answer. And she picks that up immediately. So I just said the truth, without making it an offer or an apology. Something real. I don't really do in between. No pitch. No pressure. No performance. Just a man who knows what he wants and isn't embarrassed by it. That kind of clarity? She hasn't heard it in a long time. And she felt it. She stopped testing and started talking, really talking. Most guys just say what they think I want to hear. She said she hadn't had a conversation like this in a long time. The signal hadn't just attracted her. It had created a space where she felt safe enough to actually be real. That's when you know it worked. The signal gets her in. The answer locks the door. But there's one final layer, and it's the one most men never even discover. She's in. She's warm. She opened up. The signal worked. The answers landed. And now you're standing in the moment every man thinks is the finish line. But I need to tell you something nobody told me. This moment right here, when everything feels good, is the most dangerous point in the whole process. The first trap is availability. The second she's in, most men drop everything. Cancel their plans. Reply instantly. Clear their whole schedule. I used to do this. I thought it showed I cared. But what it actually showed her was that the man she was attracted to had disappeared and been replaced by someone who needed her to fill his life. The fix isn't to play hard to get. It's to actually have a life and protect it. When she asked if I was free that night, I said, I've got something on. Wednesday works though. Warm. Clear. Not punishing her. Just being a man who has a world she gets to enter. Not one she has to fill. The second trap is validation. He starts needing her to confirm he's doing it right. Are we good? Do you actually like me? What are we? And every question like this transfers all the power he built back to her in one conversation. Because now she's the one being asked to grade him. And men don't get graded by women they're attracted to. Instead of asking, what are we? I said, I like where this is going. Let's keep it real and see what it becomes. No question mark. No anxiety in it. Just a man who knows what he wants and isn't asking permission to want it. She didn't need to grade me. She just needed to decide if she was in. The third trap is comfort. He relaxes, stops leading, starts asking permission for everything. Whatever you want, you choose, is this okay? The man who attracted her had direction and certainty. This man has disappeared into the relationship, and she can feel the absence. She misses who he was, and she can't even explain why. The fix isn't to be controlling. It's to keep being the man she chose. Still deciding, still leading, still having a life that she gets to be part of, not one that revolves around her. I said, I know a spot. Come on, instead of where do you want to go? Small shift. Massive difference in how it landed. And here's what I finally understood after all of it. The signal was never a manipulation. It was never a trick. Presence, that's just being secure in who you are. Making her feel seen, that's just actually paying attention. Direction, that's just knowing what you want. And keeping the signal running, that's just becoming a man you'd respect. The signal was always just the best version of you, consistently. She said something I didn't expect. She said, I feel like I can actually be myself around you. And that hit me differently than any compliment she could have given. Because the signal hadn't just made her chase me. It had made her feel safe enough to stop performing too. That's when I understood what all of this was actually for. 3 parts. 1 signal. And the truth is, this isn't really about her at all. It never was. The man who runs this signal consistently doesn't just attract better. He lives better. He's clearer, steadier, more himself in every room he walks into. If this series shifted something for you, drop it in the comments. And subscribe. Because what's coming next on Savage Moves? You need to be there for it.